Good morning, everyone. It is Veterans Day, a day when we honor the veterans who served this country, who gave their lives for this country. And I thank each and every one of you people out there, whoever listens to this video, if you served, past or present, thank you so very much for serving the country. It is an honor to stand here this morning and be alive and be able to say thank you guys so very much. You all, in this video, I am going to make a chisel. I'm going to make a hot chisel, okay? This is a piece of steel that is already in the shape of a chisel, and it used to be a long, I think, you guys, it was a piece of drill steel, okay? I don't really know because I got it out of a scrap yard. But it was, I think it was a piece of drill steel. What we're going to do with this piece of drill steel is we're going to turn it in to a handheld hot chisel, meaning we're going to use it to cut hot metal, okay? That's what we're going to do in this video, so stand by. Now you want to make sure you all, when you're trying to forge something out of a piece of tool steel like this right here, you don't want to burn this tool steel, okay, because you'll be burning the carbon out of it. In other words, you don't want to see it sparkling up or blazing up. We'll go to a good orange or close to a little bit more than orange heat, yellowish looking heat, and then we will forge this chisel right here. So the end of it is sort of broken off. You see, I've used it to make something else. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the grinder off camera and I'm going to grind this off completely square. That way, when I start to forge it out, it's not going to have this ragged looking end on it, and then you've still got to cut it off after you've done forged it out, okay? Square on the end, okay? All right, now you all, it's sprinkling some rain out there, and we got a little bit of rain last night, and that's really good because here in Virginia, we've been under a drought. There's no question about it. So what we'll do is we'll put it in the fire over here, you all. And before I forget it, I want to give a shout out to my brother James at Harshman Hills. He is considering getting into blacksmithing and going to make him a little portable propane forge. So if you don't mind, go over and check James out at Harshman Hills. I will put a link up to his video, his channel on this video in the about, and you can check out James at Harshman Hills. You can also go to my community page where I've gave him some shout outs and showed you some of his videos. James is just a really nice fella, does all kind of videos, reviews about all kind of different items, guns, knives, food. James is just a really nice guy. So we're just about to come up to heat here, you guys. See, I've got it up to orange already. If you see, I'm counting 1, 2, 3, turning it over, 1, 2, 3, turning it over, 1, 2, 3, turning it over. That, you all, will give you equal forging on both sides of that piece of material. You'll see it's flat when I hit it from this side. I turn it over, it's flat on that side now. I go 1, 2, 3. That's one of the things that people don't tell you about forging, okay? If you will strike it equal amount of times when you're forging it on both sides, the very same way, you're going to come up with the product not crooked, okay? That's what we're trying to do. Okay, my hammer there weighs almost 10 pounds, you guys. Now you all, when you're using this bigger hammer, you can get this job done on this particular item with a whole lot less heat, okay? That's the whole point of using a bigger hammer and watching what you're doing. If you use a smaller hammer, you have a whole lot more blows on the one side than you do, and then you have to flip it over and do the same thing on the other side, and then you have that distorted looking edge on it, okay? That's not what we want. All right, you see me going right to the edge of that. Turn it over, do the same thing. See how it keeps it equal? That's the whole point of the exercise, you guys. Okay, we're going to get the edge to come down. It's looking pretty good. So one more heat like that and we will have the chisel edge down the way we want it. What we're trying to do, you all, is from there back to here. We want this to be the same on both sides of this chisel. That's where we're striking the 1, 2, 3, turning it over, striking 1, 2, 3, holding it at the same angle. Now what I'm going to do, you guys, is I'm going to let this cool naturally, anneal. And after it anneals, I will cut it off straight, and then I will sharpen it off and I'll show it. Now you all, you see how the colors is running in that right there? Now I haven't hardened this yet. That's just from a little bit of residual heat and grinding. You can see the colors running in that. So what we want the color to be, you all, when we do run the tempers on it, is about this color right here for this chisel. So take notice. You want that chisel to be equal on both sides, from here to here, from here to here, width-wise, okay? I hope that is making some good sense to you. So let me put that over there in the forge and heat it up and bring it up to the heat, and then I will quench it in oil, and then we will draw the temper on it. So you all, what we're about to do right here is we're going to do two things. We're going to harden this chisel. We're going to bring it up to the heat. We're going to harden it in the oil, okay? Then while it's starting to cool down, we're going to run the colors on the edge. And what we have to do is we bring it up to the heat, we quench it in the oil. It's still going to be hot back on the shaft of this particular chisel, okay? We will then let the colors run to the very edge of the chisel and watch that happen. Now, you won't be able to see it on video because I'll have to grab out the grinder real quick, shine it up, because when I quench it in oil, it's going to get black, okay? And then I won't be able to see the colors. So I'll grab out, I got the grinder over here. I will grab the grinder up, and I will shine it up so that I can see the colors run, and then maybe you guys can see the colors running, okay? Then when it gets to the right color, I'll go back and quench it again. So we're doing two things. We're going to harden, we're going to quench, we're going to temper. We're going to temper all in one move if that works for us, okay? So let's get everything ready. We got the grinder. We got a glove there because we're going to need one. We've got a pair of tongs. Hopefully we can hold that with, not drop it down in the, might be these right here. All right, here we go, you guys. You can see it still smoking. I'm going to polish it. That's why sometimes you need a helper, you guys. All right, now, let me move you back here. I don't know if you all will be able to see this or not. But we're looking for that straw color, you got guys, to get right at the edge of that right there. And there it goes. So you see how we stopped the colors, guys? That's how simple and easy it is to make a chisel. Now it's sort of rounded, and it's that way for a reason when you're hot chiseling. When you're hot chiseling, it's really hard for to do a long object and have that completely square or 1.5 inches across. It's really hard to get it to cut right, okay, or chop right. So you leave it just a little bit rounded so that when you come down, it's cutting here. You can tilt it, and not mess up your chisel on the piece of stuff that you're hammering on, okay? Next thing we're going to do, you all, is we're going to put this thing to the test and see if it'll cut a piece of hot metal. Make sure you put it on a chisel plate. Make sure you go to the quench. Go back to the quench. Now let's put it back in the fire and just do that again. I'm just going to leave you live right here, you guys. Make sure you use a chisel plate with your hot cuts, okay? You don't, you'll hit the top of your anvil. You're either going to damage the top of your anvil or you're going to break your chisel. So always use a chisel plate. That's soft metal right there. All right, you all, that's cut in too. As you can see, that's sheared. That's that piece I've been practicing welding with. You can see this part right back here is where me and Frank welded on. You see how it stuck on there and didn't break off while I was working with it? That means the thing is welded, okay? Now let's back up, you all, live, and see if we damage that chisel edge anywhere. That's the whole point of this. Did it hold up? And it did. All right, you all, that's the DIY way of making your own hot chisel. I can make a cold chisel the same way. There is really no different steps than making a cold chisel than there is making a hot chisel. The cold chisel will be hardened off harder so that when you start to cut cold metal with it, it will be that chisel edge will be wedged shaped, okay? So that it splits the piece apart quicker, okay? That's the only difference. It's hardened just a little bit harder. Basically, you guys, that's it. So with that, you all, I'm gonna, this thing right here where me and Frank was working on, I'm gonna go ahead and do a couple more forge weld heats on that. Just because I always say, when you're forging, always practice welding, okay? So that you get a handle on how that works, okay? That's the only way you can learn how to do it. Just continue on until something works for you, and then you remember what it was that worked for you. But anyway, you guys, I'm gonna let you go. May the good Lord bless you. Hope you have yourself a wonderful Veterans Day. Until my son Michael Seth Reed, son, I love you. Thank you for serving your country. May the good Lord bless you, John Reed. You served your country. My brother, Big John, he served his country in Vietnam. So with that, you all, have a great day.